Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, a Chef Customer Roadmap event. My name is Raisa, and I'm on the marketing team at Progress. Before we start, I just need 2 minutes of your time to go over the housekeeping items quickly. So if you have any questions, please submit them in the Q&A section at the bottom of the Zoom, and we will be answering them during or at the end of the presentation. We also recommend you closing any additional programs or browser sessions running in the background, as Zoom events are bandwidth intensive. And finally, as always, we are recording this event and an on-demand version of the same will be available soon. So let's go ahead and get started. Over to you, Prashant.
Hey, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from all parts of the world, I guess. Super excited to talk to you all. I see that we have about 25 folks join in. We are expecting few more. The number is increasing. We will give a minute, and while we let others join in, we can probably take a quick look at the lineup for today and the agenda. Stephen, if you can go to the next slide. Of course, this is a product roadmap session, so we will get to that. But before that, we also wanted to give you a brief overview of some of my team members who have joined the call, who will be talking to you, and also talk a little bit about how the Chef product line is organized. What are the SKUs available? What are the different channels? This might be familiar to most of you, but I thought it'll be good to kind of give you an overview. I think the part which we are very excited about is the last two sections, where first is we want to talk about what are the things that are available, that were made available in the last 6 months or so. And we are, in fact, we are entering our last quarter in our financial year at Chef in Progress, but we also wanted to talk a little bit about what's coming up in the next few months. Right. With that, I have one request before I jump into the session. These sessions are super valuable for us. We really appreciate you taking time out and coming to understand and on what we are working on, what is available already for you to consume. So it is most useful when there is a lot of communication. So feel free to ask questions. Like Raisa mentioned, ask any questions throughout the session in the Q&A option available. We will try and answer as and when they come, either in the chat itself, or we will pause our conversation and try and answer them if it is very related to what we are talking about. Right. With that, I'll jump into introductions. I think I have spoken to some of you going by the names, but let me take this opportunity and introduce myself briefly. I'm Prashant Nanjudappa. I head the product function. I have the responsibility of product management as well as product marketing for Chef business unit within Progress. And with me, I have Stephen, who leads the product management for infra and app delivery, and Nischal, who leads product management for platform and cloud, and Lokesh, who leads product management for Chef compliance. They will come as they come. I'll request them to do a brief introduction before they get into the specific topics we have. If you can go to the next slide, Stephen. So, like I said, most of you are familiar with our products, but let me take this opportunity to call out a couple of things. As you are all familiar, Chef is built on top of the tools that came in the with open source, as well as premium content which is available exclusively for our customers. So the layer in the bottom forms the foundational layer of all the products that we build out, and this is something that we are actively working to make sure that these are maintained, these are updated, and these are taking taking things into consideration, both your needs as well as changes in industry. But what we sell as an offerings are workload aligned product offerings, which are mostly built on top of these foundational building blocks. And Chef Infrastructure Management is the product which primarily uses Chef Infra server and client as foundation, but it brings in automate and few other aspects to help you manage your configuration management needs. And Chef Compliance is foundationally based out of Chef Inspect, but also uses several other components like premium content, Chef Automate, and few others to help you maintain continuous compliance posture. And similar on the similar lines, app delivery is while foundation is Habitat, it has few other concepts to help you package and deploy application in a complex and large scale deployment environments. And we have also launched a new SKU, which is available in an early access mode, which is Chef Cloud Security Posture Management. And this is something that is being used by a few customers already to help maintain their security and compliance posture across hybrid cloud setup, private as well as public cloud. Lokesh will talk a little bit in detail on this SKU and what are the benefits. When do you think about using this? And of course, Chef Desktop is also based out of Chef Infra and Inspect, which but it is helping large organization automate their desktop configuration and as well as compliance automation needs. And most of you might be familiar with using these products in an on-prem mode. That has been the traditional way in which our software has been distributed. But over the last year or this year, we have kind of brought two other channels or distribution channels through which you can consume Chef products. Chef Marketplace is one where typically where developers have autonomy to click and buy services on marketplaces like AWS Azure. You can go and select Chef from the marketplace and buy the subscription of it, just like how you buy any native services like S3 or EC2 or AKS and things like that. This also will help you kind of utilize the spend that is allocated at a smaller business unit level rather than going to buy a product through a laborious procurement process. And also it provides easy installation as compared to that you have on-prem. And talking about easy installation, that's where Chef SaaS comes in. This is also in an early access mode where we take all the responsibility of installation and management of Chef infrastructure, and you can then focus on managing your infrastructure to our product. So you will continue to have the responsibility of writing cookbooks, managing cookbook, writing inspect profiles, updating them. But we will take the responsibility of ensuring as your usage scales, we scale the infrastructure. We take over the responsibility of compliance like SOC 2 or anything that needs to be compliant, and also the ownership of uptime, reliability gets transferred to us. So if you are a team where you are looking to scale, either for net new use case or a small sub team wants to use Chef for a different use case, but you don't necessarily have the expertise or time to create Chef infrastructure for them, SaaS is a very, very appropriate fitment in that case. Nishal is going to talk a little bit more in detail about what are the benefits of SaaS, what does early access program mean, and if you are keen on exploring this, what does it take, right? With that, let's go to the last slide before I hand it over to Stephen or Nishal to talk through some of the benefits. So this is something that we wanted to give you a little flavor of how we are organized internally. Product and engineering are kind of tied in hip. So this structure holds good for both product management and engineers. So you have, we have compliance and security pod where we have both product leader and engineering leader. Under that, we have compliance, cloud security, inspect, premium content are all worked by that team. So Sharan is the leader. He's not with us in this call, but Lokesh reports into Sharan. And Girija is the engineering leader. Between them, they have the responsibility of all of it. Cloud and SaaS has responsibility of Chef SaaS, Automate, Marketplace, and even hosted Chef. So Nishchal is the product leader, and there are Vivek and Gavin, who are the engineering leaders, who share this responsibility on the engineering side. And core infrastructure, this is the product where Chef was born, and it is still continuing to serve a lot of our customer base. And Stephen is the product lead, and George is the engineering leader. So you have folks on this call, so please reach out to them. Please ask them questions that might not be very pertinent to this roadmap session, but if you have anything related to any of your organization needs, we have right representation to address. If not, we can take those questions and reach out to you with an appropriate answer. With that, let me hand it over to Nishchal. I guess it's you to talk about some of the benefits we have delivered over the last year. Let me also call out that this is not necessarily an exhaustive list. We are starting an initiative of sending out a monthly newsletter. So we have heard a lot from you that we don't communicate that well on things that get done. So this is one aspect through which we want to bridge that gap and communicate more often on what is available for you to try out, what is available for you to apply in your organization. There is newsletters that are coming up, and also we will be doing host of webinars. We have been doing, but we will be increasing that so that you get a better understanding of what's available and how does it, more importantly, how does it help you in your role or your organization to use Chef in a better way. With that, Nishchal, over to you.
Thank you, Prashant. And as you were speaking, the newsletter just went out, so just check your mailbox. So hello all, my name is Nishchal Reddy, and I'm based out of Hyderabad, India, and I work as a principal product manager. And my focus areas are platform and cloud, which includes products like Automate, Chef SaaS, Hosted Chef, Marketplaces, among others. So it's nice meeting you all and talking to you. So let me first start with one of the features that we have recently released, which is Large Compliance Report. So this feature was released in Automate 4.2, and this was an enhancement that was requested by quite a few customers. And this will specifically be useful if you use compliance or inspect in your organization. So Automate had this limitation where it was not able to handle compliance scan data if it was larger than 4 MB. So when Chef client sent data larger than 4 MB, Automate data collector used to return error back to Chef client. So what it means is if you had Chef clients reporting large compliance scan data back to Automate, it used to fail, right? So we solved this by providing a way to configure an external Minio data source. So once Automate is configured with external Minio source, compliance scan data will be stored in that data source, right? So from that point onwards, you'll be able to not only get existing data through Automate dashboards, but you'll also be able to get large reports exported from Minio data source, right? So this is currently available in Automate. Like I said, it was introduced in 4.2. And if you're using compliance or inspect to scan your infrastructure, I think you should take a look at this and you'll find it useful. So with that, I'll go to the next feature that we had worked on, which is called InfraServer Views. So Chef InfraServer Views allows you to connect and manage all objects that are on the Chef InfraServer. So essentially, you can do CRUD operations on objects, and I've listed all the objects that we support today. Also in the brackets, I've added the operations you can perform. So apart from cookbooks, policy group, and policy files, which are read-only, you can perform create, delete, and read on all the other objects. And InfraServer Views provides users flexibility to manage their environments directly from the UI instead of going to CLI, right? So this is our effort towards making product easy to use by bringing more functionality to the UI. So again, this is available in the product today. We can actually give it a try, and we are continuing to make improvements on Chef InfraServer Views. So if you have any ideas, please drop them in comments, or you can also log your ideas in Idea Portal. We'll take a look at that. So with that, maybe we'll move to the next feature, which is data feed. And so data feed provides a mechanism to help organizations move Chef data to external systems. This can be useful to either create, maybe move compliance scan data or client run data to external database and create custom dashboards on top of it, or potentially integrate with external IT systems to generate alerts or automatically log tickets when something fails, right? So on and so forth. Through data feed, we will be able to send OHI data, client run, and compliance scan data as well. And we support two types of integrations. One is webhook based and second is storage based. So under webhook, we support ServiceNow, Splunk, ELK, and you can also integrate with custom webhook endpoints. And under storage, we support Minio and Amazon S3. So yeah, again, this is available today. So if you have any requirements around using Chef data to either build reports on top of it, or maybe generate alerts, or create service tickets, this is something that I believe would be useful for you. Right. So with that, I believe I'll hand it.
Let me pause, and if you can go back to the previous one, if you can, if you can show of hands or somehow say if you are using any of these features that Nishal talked about already, or plan to use, that will be a great indication. And all along this call, please don't hesitate to drop a line if you want to learn more. As it is a large audience, we have tried to keep the information at a slightly high level. If you think you need more information on any of these things, do send us a ping. We can send out any additional documentation or links to some of the blogs where we have explained in detail on how these features could be useful.
Yeah, you can leave any questions in the chat, so we'll try to answer them live, and we'll share any resources that would be helpful for you as well. So yeah.
Let's continue.
Let's go to the next slide. So these are the premium content that we have already delivered, and they're available out of the box. So if you are on latest version of Automate, you'll find all this content, and if you're entitled for premium content, of course. But Lokesh, my colleague, is going to go in detail around what is our roadmap for future content. I think he'll cover it in the compliance part. Feel free to explore all the resources that we already package in Automate. So with that, Stephen, I'll hand it over to you to cover the rest.
Yeah, thank you, Nishal. So my name is Stephen Blankenship, and I am the product lead for infra applications and desktop. And talking about infra for a minute and what the value of delivery, I think one of the things hopefully you'll see now and in the future is thematically a focus on ease of use and speed to value. And that's certainly some things that I want to highlight here today, which is the support for VMware has been both updated and extended already in the first half of the year. And with that, we hope that our customer base and our users can really better interact and get more value quicker out of the VMware integrations. We're always looking for additional features and functionality to add to those. And so if there's any suggestion for that, after any of you may have tried our integrations with the VMware solutions, we'd love to hear about that, as well as our own internal integrations with our own internal systems, where we've tried to make it easier for you to use our products together. So previously for InSpec operations, you may have had to write cookbooks, which work fine But to get even quicker value, we've added what I would consider sort of a shortcut inside of the operation infra system, so that you don't have to necessarily have those out there. And even maybe more value is new users or team members you've onboarded can much more quickly allow those operations to happen. So those are two things we've added already this year, and we look to extend that, like I said, going forward into 2023. So with that, I think that concludes the part of the value we've delivered. Now we want to get into maybe something people are even more excited to talk about, look into, is what's coming up in the following quarters.
So Stephen, before we go to that, there is a comment around VRA8 from Sarah. So I think this we have actually built out in collaboration with many of our customers. We recognize that there are some challenges because of non-availability of native integration. So if you would like, Stephen and team can get in touch with you and understand what the challenges you are facing. And that way we have 2 or 3 customers who have successfully migrated. We have some experience on working with that. We can share what we know. And also, more importantly, we would love to learn where your challenges are and see if we can help you overcome that.
Yeah, thank you for catching that, Prashant. Any more questions before we move on to the futures?
Now we good. We can continue.
Okay, infra and app delivery. So I'd like to start by talking about something I think I know we're very excited about, and hopefully everybody on the call will be as well. And that is our upcoming job orchestration service. When we think about job orchestration, we think about sort of 3 pillars, which is the action you're going to take, the targets or the intended landing spots for the jobs, and the scheduling. And if you take all those 3 things together, that's how we really visualize orchestration going forward. So those are the dimensions that we're going to work on and deliver into. So if I take the first one, which is the action, we are looking at complex actions that can be chained off of existing environmental variables and other actions that have been taken. So if you think about, do you look at a result from an inspect job, and some of those are the output of that, do you take another action, or do you fork the actions into 2 different possibilities? So that's the type of complexity level we're looking at. When you think about the targeting, we think about, can you filter? We want to give you the ability to look at either internal systems that you already have in place for filtering nodes, or using our existing commands to provide the filters we already have in order to bifurcate any number of systems, any kind of way you want to slice and dice the targeting of the jobs. And then scheduling, think about Outlook scheduling and what you're able to do there, right? The second Tuesday of the month, or several times a week, or any type of schedule, depending on holidays or whatever situation you have. And so if we take those 3 dimensions, those are the things we really want to bring to the table coming up next year for how we allow you flexibility to deliver your jobs. And over time, this will become the default way in which content is and actions are delivered and executed across your systems. It'll allow for a larger scale. It'll allow for use cases that quite simply can't be met right now. And we believe it'll be the best of breed solution for configuration and every other piece of compliance and security, and even delivery at some point at scale for your systems. So with that, we're working diligently for the balance of the year in coordination with my engineering partners and my team to bring that out in at least an early stage in the first half of 2023. So one thing I would like to get is a level of interest in these type of features. Of course, we have a email address here on the slide, but in addition to that, I wanted to send out our first poll and just sort of get a temperature check for interest levels. You can just, as I said, email the slide here, or we'll take information on the poll. If anybody is interested in early adoption or POC participation, like I said, in the first half of next year, to really go through the paces with this functionality and see how it might really enhance your experience with our product in your environment. And I'll just give a minute for that. Okay. Thank you very much for your time on that. Great.
Continue.
Okay. Oh. There we go. So along with this theme that I was talking about, we want to make it easier for upgrades and updates to the system as we continue to bring value to our product lines. Of course, you can't realize that value unless you upgrade your systems and the infra nodes in your environment. So we're over the balance of the rest of this year and into 2023, we are going to enhance our update and upgrade process using much of our own technology in order to make sure that updates are as painless as possible. And so part of that is the concept of being able to update your systems in a rolling fashion, or what we call a sliding window, where you should be able to use past versions of the same application in order to stay on board with any of the cookbooks or content you already have, while being able to simultaneously roll into new versions of our application, new versions of infra, and test out the content you have while you're simultaneously staying with the same version installed. So basically having two versions of infra client installed, and painlessly being able to roll those over without disruption to any of your infrastructure, environment, or systems. And so with that, we hope that can both speed adoption to the functionality, as well as ease the entire process of upgrading for our systems.
Stephen, there is a question by James on when it mentions Chef client agnostic, did they mean agentless operations? I think it's with the previous, the job orchestration. I guess that's the question related to job orchestration. Would you like to answer that, Clyde?
Yeah. So not in the first version of the feature. We will not be releasing agentless, but as a part of the orchestration process, as a follow-on feature, we definitely are planning on releasing agentless targeting capability. That's a great question that leads into one of the other bifurcation levels, which is being able to establish the targets that don't currently have agents, and either do the agent install process or recognize that we need to manage those nodes without an agent on them. So probably toward the end of the year, probably the first feature after GA rollout will include some agentless capability. So thank you for that question.
So Stephen, I think you might want to clarify end of year. Is it end of this year or
into 2023?
Okay.
Yes. Prashant, thanks for keeping me on target there. So anyway, thank you very much for that question. And do we have any questions on this particular slide before I move on?
Not yet.
Okay. So, and you'll hear me continue to focus on this area, ease of use and speed to value. We want to make it easier for your users and your project owners, configuration owners to get value out of the system. Right now, you may struggle with bringing people online with the whole process of managing repositories and cookbooks, and we want to add a UI to the workstation product line so that when you do have new users or you hand off to additional teams or maybe bifurcate duties, those teams can come up to speed very quickly, especially with regard to the most common actions that take place on your workstations. So with that, we're going to add some UI capabilities that reflect what we've seen and the feedback we've received with regard to the most common actions and the areas where users want to be onboarded the quickest and contributing to the team the quickest. So these are a couple of areas, just some screenshots that we've additionally identified that will be rolling out by the end of this year. So thank you, Prashant. So 2023, we'll have some of these capabilities in early access phase so that we can get feedback on, are these really the most commonly used areas? And are these really bringing users up to speed and providing speed of use and speed to value to working with cookbooks and the related repositories? Any questions on that? Okay. So just at a high level, priorities, adoption and ease of use, we've heard you loud and clear, and we want to definitely index on that very solidly this year and next. In the security and compliance pieces, as far as infra is concerned, want to make sure that we're up to date with the latest fixes with Ruby on Rails and other related pieces of the architecture. We will be releasing Chef 18 shortly. I think we have a release candidate coming out before the end of this month, in fact, and in Q4 that'll be available with all the updates related to Ruby within it. And on the innovation side, Courier is the project name that we have for job orchestration. And so hope to see many of you in the early adopter and POC access phase for that, as well as making sure that we can get nodes enrolled easier, quicker, and more effectively in the coming years. On the app delivery side, we are looking to extend our capabilities. And so I would say, without going through every bullet on the slide, on the innovation side, we are going to be extending into ARM support for the various use cases, both in the cloud and on the edge, that will provide, as well as making sure that in the bullets listed above, we continue our strong support for making sure packages are up to date on time and reflecting of current use cases, as well as the build architecture maintains the standards and the latest thought in CI/CD pipeline orchestration. And with that, we will move into, if there's no questions on applicant, let me give you a moment for questions on the applicant delivery questions. And if not, then we'll move on to the next section.
So I think there are a couple of questions. There is one on supermarket. Will there be a version released that will have its own authentication versus integrating into infra server?
Yes, we are looking, we are actually currently working on a version of Supermarket that has another code name, Seamless, that will have additional authentication capabilities for integration inside of private environments. So that is a capability that is currently being worked on right now to go along with a lot of the UI enhancements that will be coming. I think Nishal will talk about those in 2023.
But I think it'll be good to, James, maybe the question could be a little different. Are you talking about usage of Supermarket independently of infra server? If so, I think it'll be interesting to know what that use case is. Maybe we can send out a short note to you and we can get more details, but I'm curious to understand why why you think standalone authentication of Supermarket is an important aspect. The reason I am kind of thinking about or asking this question is we are looking at while Stephen is talking about having a different type of content management, we also want to ensure that there is experience is seamless. Like if you are having a cookbook, or if you are having inspect policy, or as you move towards policy as code, you might also have security policies coded. All of these things should work seamlessly between your products, and based on the roles that you have created within InfraServer or Chef Automate, you want to give the same level of access to the people so that they can either edit or create new, or just have ability to view, right? So I think we are looking at having single authentication across our products. So I think I'm curious, and would love to understand more on why you think this is important and what use case it addresses.
All right.
And on a related note, cloud and platform.
Yeah, on cloud and platform, I'll start with Chef SaaS. So on to the next slide. So yeah, thank you. So Chef SaaS is another initiative that we started working late last year. And in fact, this was born out of pain points that the customers were facing. So we had customers reaching out to us saying, while Chef was a key technology that helps them manage their critical infrastructure, but it is taking some effort for them to do updates, monitor and maintain Chef environment, and so on and so forth, right? And they requested for a SaaS solution that can help them delegate all this to Chef and help them focus on what matters most for their organization, which is managing their infrastructure using Chef, right? So this is where we started working on Chef SaaS. So this will give you Automate on cloud, right? Hosted in a highly available mode. This will give you access to all products, including infra management, compliance, and habitat. So we started off with a beta program where we worked closely with select few customers to provide them access to early bits and gather feedback. And we launched early access in Q3, and we are in the process of onboarding few customers onto this product. So if you're interested to either learn more about SaaS offering, or if you want to understand how you can benefit out of this, you can either reach out to the email addresses that you see on the screen, or you'll start seeing a poll show up on your screen. You can also respond to that poll to show your interest. I'll give 10 or 15 seconds, and we can move ahead to the next slide. All right, I guess we can move ahead to the next slide. So yeah, so Automate HA is a solution to host Automate in high availability mode. This will specifically be useful if you are managing critical infrastructure and need high uptime and availability. And this is a replacement for Chef backend and A2HA, which was a professional services-led high availability solution. And as part of this product, we provide a detailed installation guide that can help you install and configure Automate HA either on AWS or on-prem. And we also provide utilities to do backup and restore. And in future, we also plan to further expand capabilities by providing centralized logging, alerting, and monitoring. So this will specifically be very useful for you if you have a critical infrastructure where you want to ensure you provide high uptime and that the Chef infra is always available. And just in case if something happens and if one server goes down, there is always a backup that can come up and take the load, right? So if you have such high availability and uptime requirements, I think you should look at Automate HA. So I'll maybe pause for like 5 seconds and see if you have any questions, either on Chef SaaS or Automate HA before heading to a high-level overview on what are the other things that we're working on cloud and platform. All right, we can head to the next slide, Stephen. Thank you. So these are other priorities that we're working on. I've already covered Chef SaaS and Automate HA. And then we're also working on improving some of our existing workflows, like doing compliance scans. And I also spoke about a large compliance report, which has already been delivered. So where, if you're using compliance or inspect in your organization, you should take a look at this feature. And we're also working on streamlining our user management across products. So currently we have different ways of managing users in Chef Infra Server. We have Automate local users, right? So we are trying to consolidate and provide more cohesive experience for managing users. And the next feature is something that Lokesh will talk about in a moment. So right now, the content delivery is not very seamless in our product. So let's say if you are entitled for using remediation content, then you have to reach out to your sales account manager or CSM who will provide you a zip that you can use. So we want to provide better experience within the product itself, so that you don't have to do this manually, reaching out to either your account managers or CSMs and get those remediation content, right? So we plan to fix that by providing this feature. And finally, we've been working on minor upgrades on OpenJDK and Go upgrades on Automate. So these are the priorities on a high level. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop a note in the chat. And Stephen, if you can go to the next slide. So yeah, so this is the feature that I was talking about, where we are planning to streamline how we deliver content to you. And this is where I'll hand it over to Lokesh to quickly walk you through what this feature does. And also he will be covering compliance and cloud security and posture management features as well. So Lokesh, over to you.
Thanks, Nishal. Hello, folks. I'm Lokesh, and I'm currently working as a senior product manager at Chef, and I'm handling Chef Compliance product portfolio. So moving on to seamless delivery of premium content. So the current challenge right now in delivering content is like customers can get audit content through UI, whereas on the remediation content, we share the private GitHub repos, and where they can download the remediation content and consume it. So this mechanism is not seamless. So we are planning to streamline this so that customers get a seamless delivery of remediation content. So our plan is to provide the accessibility of content like via email for Chef Compliance Automation and Chef EAS customers by Q4 2022, and then like for desktop complaints by Q1 2023, and then for customers to access new and update content with Automate, that is with single platform without any upgrade. We are planning to do it by Q2 and beyond. So this is the plan we are taking for seamless delivery of premium content. On the value aspects, what customer gets, the seamless mechanism avoids customers to look for like different mechanisms to access content. For example, CAs, CSMs helping in providing the remediation content. And then they get a single platform to access the both audit and remediation content. And right now there is a huge amount of cognitive load in accessing the content. This feature will reduce that cognitive load. So once the cognitive load is reduced and access is streamlined, customers will increase the usage of premium content. So this is the quick overview and of the seamless premium content. Let me pause for 5 seconds for any questions.
I think we had two feedback coming in from many of you. One is you got to upgrade Automate every time you want to get premium content, and second, remediation content is not available in Automate. So we are trying to take a iterative approach and solve these problems. Our first take is to ensure remediation content is available to anyone who is entitled as per the SKU that you have bought. So we will take a maybe not so uh, elegant approach, but something that we believe will work and should solve the problem, which is send you a frequent, a periodic email on update of content. And our vision towards the end is to make sure that this premium content is available in the Automate or our platform itself. And there we want to give an option. You can get the content update independent of upgrade of the product itself. So that's where we are heading towards. Lokesh, maybe perhaps we can continue.
So moving on to Chef compliance and CSPM perspective. On cloud security posture management, so we have launched CSPM SKU like earlier this year. This is primarily targeted to achieve like security and compliance posture for multiple cloud assets across GCP, Azure, AWS, and Ali Cloud. So one interesting aspect which demands CSPM is like there is a concept called shared responsibility model. So this model like clearly differentiates what are the assets to be secured by cloud service provider and what are the assets have to be secured by cloud customer. So this model clearly differentiate that. For example, in cloud service provider, they ensure that the services like compute, storage, all these services are like secure. Whereas like cloud customer has to ensure the configurations are like secure, and then the data placed in the system are also to be safe. So this is the concept of shared responsibility model, and CSPM is primary driver for this one. And then like CSPM is a product which helps in resolving cloud misconfigurations and making cloud assets like a complaint based on different standards like CAS, PCI, SOC 2, HIPAA, different set of standards. And another driver is like visibility. So visibility is a key aspect to Chef CSPM. Like Chef CSPM supports multiple cloud assets. It reports the compliance posture of these assets in like a single pane of glass. That is like a single dashboard. This helps like compliance auditors in saving a lot of time during the audit. And then on the premium content, like Chef has certified CAS profiles for AWS, GCP, and Azure. These benchmarks, it helps to prevent misconfigurations and deviations in their compliance standard. And then Chef CSPM not only has benchmarks for cloud, it also has benchmarks for containers and Kubernetes. For instance, with help of CAS benchmarks, it has configuration checks on control plane to test the master node configuration, and then to test the configurations of API server, and then on like worker node to test the worker node configuration, and then kubelet configuration and other tests related to pods, network policies, etc. So these are the items covered in CAS KTS benchmark. Additionally, if you see like Chef CSPM also take care of host level security, meaning like the host OS hosting the Docker or Kubernetes, it's properly hardened and configured properly. So this is the quick overview about CSPM. Let me pause for 5 seconds for any questions. And we have like a poll for 2 questions as well.
So if you can put the poll on, yeah, we wanted to understand if this is a point of concern at this point in your organization. Either if you are migrating your workloads on cloud, are you worried about misconfigurations? Right? If so, how are you working on addressing them? And if you can, I think if you can go towards the next question. And there we also would like to know if I'll give it let's give it a minute for to answer this question, and once the next one comes, wait for the next one to come. Okay. And similarly, are there any concerns that challenges that you are facing when it comes to container, your application deployment with respect to either compliance or security? It could be on container, it could be container misconfiguration or Kubernetes security concerns, misconfigurations or role management, or the likes of it. If so, we would like to know. And if interested, we can help explain how Chef CSPM can answer. If it does answer, again, this is our first version of the product. Like Lokesh mentioned that we are committed to helps our customers solve the cloud security and cloud compliance needs. So we would love to understand what challenges you have and see if the current version of the product, or if not, how you can help influence our roadmap so that we can help address some of the challenges that you and your organization is going through. Okay. I think there is a question. It might not be related to the CSPM, but I'll ask this, maybe Nischal or Stephen, it might be one of you. Will we be able to enable users to log into Linux machines using SSO?
As far as management, yes, that'll be one of the pieces that'll be attached to the capabilities list when we do bring out job orchestration. If that is a question, I don't know, or is the question more related to auto-configuring SSO for Linux desktops for new users or something like that. So there's a little bit gray area in the question. So maybe a little clarification, but certainly as far as being able to manage those desktops or servers or what have you with the advanced job orchestration, we will be able to use whatever AAA is required for management. Are we ready for the next slide?
Yes, we can move. So on like what's new in Inspect 5, so there are three key features we have rolled out. Like one is progress bar reporter, and then gem dependencies in profiles, and then code generation for custom resources. On the progress bar reporter, so there is a key challenge for Inspect users while executing an audit profile. Inspect users currently cannot see the progress of a control or like a profile, like how much it has been progressed. It's like a completely a black box to the Inspect users. So what we have done is like with this feature, Inspect users will get to know the progress of a profile in terms of like a percentage completion. And then they also get an option to diagnose controls which is having like an long execution time. So these set of things we have addressed in progress bar reporter. And then on gem dependencies profiles, another challenge like faced by Inspect users in declaring software dependencies while writing an audit profile. So they want to do a lot of workaround to declare an dependency. Let's say, for example, if I'm an Inspect user and I'm writing an audit profile for CI's MongoDB audit, there are a lot of dependencies like MongoDB, RubyGem, for instance of database connectivity, and we have to do a lot of workaround to add this dependency in Inspect. So this consumes like a lot of work, a lot of time for authors in writing an audit profile. So to counter this challenge, to address this one, we have introduced a concept of gem dependencies in profile. This helps to users to declare dependencies seamlessly and also automatically And this feature will help users in saving a lot of time in writing and executing an audit profile. So this is on gem dependencies. And another interesting feature is on code generation for custom resources. Let's say if you are an advanced user of an inspec and you are writing an audit profile and by means of repeating the logic over and over, you have to write many custom resources to implement that logic. But writing an inspect custom resources, no, it's like a tricky business and it takes a lot of time to build custom resources. So to resolve this challenge, we have launched inspect code generator feature. So this has like a different templates which enables like inspect users to build custom resources quickly and efficiently. There are templates available to build core resources, plural resources, etc. So this is on the code generation of custom resources. So the key takeaways here is like one is on progress bar reporter to know the real-time progress of a controller profile, and JEP dependencies to resolve the dependencies in the audit content, and then like code generation to create the custom resources. So these are three key features we have launched in Inspect 5. Let me pause for 5 seconds for questions. Let's move to next slide. Yeah. So on the compliance content, the audit and remediation profiles. So in the current quarter, that is like June to August, we are delivering. We have completed VMware vSphere ESXi 6.7. This is one of the critical profiles requested by most of the financial institutions in Europe and in US. And then like we have completed like CSC. We are in the progress of completion like CSGKE benchmark. This is another interesting benchmark for CSPM. And then like CAS MongoDB, we have launched an update. So this is another interesting profile. So these are the key profiles we have delivered in Q3. In Q4, we are going to launch for VMware vSphere, Alma Linux, EKS, and Docker set of items. So this is in the planning phase for Q4. Yeah, and if you have any content request or any request for update content, please drop a note to me or please raise an AHA idea. We'll try to address it in the next quarter or in two for this content.
Thanks, Lokesh, and thanks, everyone. I know we have a couple of minutes left, and thanks for all the questions. This has been very engaging. Keith, we missed answering your question early on, but I have responded to you. It's not a replacement. We had an obsolete version of Kitchen VRA plugin, which was for VRA 7. As VRA 7 kind of went out end of life, VRA 8 is the active one. So we want to support our on-prem customers continuously. That's why we refreshed and we got the latest version of VRA support as well. Right? And Stephen, if you can move to subsequent slides. While we can wait for questions, I also want to take this opportunity to thank you all for participating in a product survey. I hope you all had got the link. We got quite a good response. Nishal, do you have the number handy on the final responses?
Sorry, I was on mute. We have about 150 responses from, I believe, 140 different organizations.
Yeah, so this has given us a lot of insights, and one of the most common, or at least some of the most common challenges that has surfaced, which is not a surprise, but surfaced consistently in the survey also is Chef upgrade. And also ask for better orchestration service either through agentless or something like that. And third is to ensure that we make our products easy to use. These are our focus, as you can see, in our current quarter as well, and it will continue to be our focus in next year as well. And as all of you know, ChefConf is around the corner. We are super excited. We were hoping to meet many of you, but I think the travel restrictions, especially because of airline challenges and also a few other reasons, made many of our registrants request us to do it virtual, and we are in fact continuing with that. It is going to be virtual only. We are super excited to interact with all of you. If you haven't registered, it's great time to register. We have a lot of our customers like yourself, and also community members come in and share their experience there. And we also are going to have a preview of what's coming next year in product. So thanks again for joining us and interacting with us, and looking forward to talking to you in ChefConf, or reach out to your account manager or success manager if you want to talk to us on any specific issue that came out today, or if you and your team are stuck with any problem related to Chef. Hey.
All right. Thank you.
Raisa, I guess we are on time.
Yes, yes. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot, Nishal, Stephen, Prashant, and Lokesh. This was really a very informative information. And before we end, I just want to update once that the on-demand version of this will be available soon, and we will send it to you over email once it's available. So thanks, everyone, for joining the session today, and looking forward to more of these kind of roadmap sessions in future. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.